body says no? Ignoring its pain endangers our health and masks our inner weaknesses. In the world's wealthiest society, half of the world's citizens suffer from a chronic disorder. Trauma happens when it hurts too much to be us. It is the disconnection with our authentic self. Trauma plot. Don't miss any of our videos. Subscribe now and activate notifications. The book investigates the hidden connections between mental stress and physical health by drawing on the vast medical background of its author and recent scientific evidence. It focuses on the interconnection between the physical and mental planes. In addition, this work investigates the effect of childhood traumas on the body-mind connection. Gabor Maté was born in Hungary in 1944 and immigrated to Canada in 1956. He is a physician and writer, expert in family medicine and palliative care, specialist in the study and treatment of addictions and early childhood experiences. In 2018, he was awarded the Order of Canada, the highest civilian decoration of that country, for his work in addiction, trauma, and the union of body and mind. Co-creator of the Compassionate Inquiry psychotherapeutic approach, whose purpose is to delve into the core stories that people tell themselves. Maté states that we then begin to look at what happened to us in our lives and find the answers in our story. Then it is necessary to get rid of those patterns. And that requires some kind of therapeutic, spiritual, or psychological work. Some different way of taking care of ourselves. Compassionate inquiry requires looking at ourselves with genuine curiosity. What is causing me to live the way I am living? And why isn't it working for me? Being strong has become a necessity. We convince ourselves that we can handle any amount of physical or mental pain, and we do so by repressing it, ignoring it, or worrying about others. Gabor Maté defines stress as a demand on the body that is beyond the body's ability to respond. Chronic stress can easily alter health by damaging our immune system and our nervous system. The underlying problem is not the stressful events but the environmentally conditioned helplessness in the face of those problems. All forms of stress arise from the same feeling. Something that is perceived as necessary for survival is threatened, i.e., stress is a response to a perceived threat that affects all of the body's systems. Stressors are the stimuli that cause the triggering of stress at a given time, and vary in each person as it depends on the meaning given. Chronic stress for prolonged periods generates high levels of cortisol, destroys tissues, raises blood pressure, and damages your heart. Medicine separates two areas that cannot be separated: the mind from the body and the individual from the environment. This division denotes a positioning. Maté states that medicine is not only science but also ideology. Psychoneuroimmunology works in an interdisciplinary field and could help us to break the harmful dualism of mind-body. Psychoneuroimmunology is interdisciplinary. Our biology is shaped and affected by psychological and social relationships with the environment. Emotional stimuli are electrical, chemical, and hormonal discharges of the nervous system, which disarm the immune system, generating important effects and chronic diseases. The book explains the impact of early experiences in the formation of the perception of the world, as well as the physiology of stress and the factors that affect health. According to Maté, suffering from childhood trauma such as child abuse, family violence, relatives in prison, extreme stress due to poverty, addicted parents, or violent divorce affect how people live their lives. It also exponentially increases a person's chances of suffering from addiction later in life. It also influences the risk of mental and physical illness. Environmental factors and destructive coping styles contribute to the onset of illness. Learned helplessness is evidenced as an action. However, it is actively choosing helplessness in the face of a crisis, i.e., having the opportunity to break free. The person remains in a stressful situation. This unconscious choice keeps you within the dynamics of vulnerability. Learned helplessness is related to chronic illness, therefore, it is unhealthy and leads to higher levels of stress. Our environment affects our brains as we grow up. Childhoods marked by deprivation, emotional loss, repression, or extreme duty to others predispose to neurological diseases. Humans learn to interact with the world at an early age. The quality of attunement and physical contact in the parent-child relationship are essential. Secure attachment styles enable better social interaction. Different attachment styles reverberate throughout our lives and influence social interactions. In relation to trauma and chronic stress, Maté states that emotional memories are stored in the prefrontal cortex of the brain, so that present stimuli can be activated in light of past experiences, triggering the traumatizing situation. Experts believe that neurological diseases exacerbate their symptoms in the face of environmental factors such as stress. The expression, gut feelings, is updated in the face of recent studies on the constant communication between the brain and the gut. Learning better behavioral coping improves inflammatory diseases of the body. The attack on self. Autoimmune diseases involve the immune system attacking the body itself. Many sufferers have trouble setting emotional boundaries with others. They put the needs of others first while repressing their own, inhibit anger, and worry about the social acceptability of their behavior. Thus, the repression of emotional stress is reflected in their immune system, which does not know which cells to attack and which to leave alone. They experience confusion between self and non-self. It is necessary to maintain the balance of the immune defenses to prevent them from attacking the tissues they are supposed to defend. Adaptation to the environment. Adaptation is a process by which human beings modify their behavior patterns to adjust to the environment. It is a protective strategy against feelings of pain, but it only helps you in the short term. Being strong has become self-imposed. Repeated emotional repression means an immune system open to attack by disease. Compulsively taking responsibility for others disarms defenses and makes you vulnerable. Healthy expression of anger. How we deal with our anger is a determinant of health. Repressing anger can cause physiological problems, and in opposition, acting violently, through yelling and hitting, is nothing more than a childish way of acting. In both cases, they are nothing more than ways of avoiding the real experience of anger. It is essential to feel anger but not lash out in response. Embrace the power of negative thinking to overcome stress. Constant positive thinking can become a destructive coping mechanism. By ignoring the bad, you repress your negative emotions and thus increase your stress levels and predispose yourself to illness. Coping strategies. Protecting your health with better behavioral coping allows you to manage your internal and external demands, not to perceive them as excessive, and to assess your available resources. Coping strategies are healthy because they allow you to accept what you need to face. They enable you to differentiate blame from responsibility. Self-knowledge moves you away from being a passive victim and gives you greater control and the possibility of overcoming what limits you. The body says no to what you are holding and makes you sick. Your body does not need denial but the truth. Stress is the root of almost all chronic diseases, and autoimmune diseases are caused by repressed feelings. Therefore, it is necessary to understand the fundamental reasons for stress and thus understand ourselves. A trauma-informed society will be a much more compassionate society. Solutions emerge from people when they face the truth, when they are not afraid of the truth and confront the underlying causes of their illnesses and take back control of their health. Health is a delicate balancing act. Only by changing our unhealthy coping mechanisms, destructive personality traits, and repressed emotions can we combat stress and regain our health. Every human being has a true, genuine, and real self. Trauma is the disconnection with that self. To heal, we need reconnection with that genuine self. Trauma does not come from the bad things that happen to you, it is what happens inside you, as a result of what happens to you. Therefore, it is necessary to do inner work through compassionate inquiry. To see what story you are unconsciously telling yourself, what those beliefs are, where they come from, to be guided towards the possibility of letting go of those stories or letting go of the control that those stories have over you. From Trimodel Trauma, we thank you for subscribing, commenting, and sharing. Your support allows us to continue deepening in the subject of trauma and its effects. Gabor Maté is the author of several books. In addition to When the Body Says No, he has written important works. Other publications of the author. In 1999, he published Scattered Minds, a new look at the origins and healing of attention deficit disorder. In 2004, Return to the Family Bond, Protect Your Children with Gordon Neufeld. In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts, Close Encounters with Addiction in 2008. In 2022, he publishes The Myth of Normalcy, Trauma, Illness and Healing in a Toxic Culture. In 2021, Maté releases the film The Wisdom of Trauma, a transformative documentary. Zaya and Mauricio Bonazzo are the directors of the film and co-founders of Science and Non-Duality. The film can be seen in its official website. Activate your notifications so we can let you know when we publish new reports.